Today's vlog is not about cats, but you could ask the same question about cats as we're going to ask about cameras today. Do you need more cats? Or do you need more megapixels in your camera? If it's a question about cats and JPEG, the answer is no one needs more JPEGs. Right, JPEG? Oh, he's bashful. He's a bashful JPEG. Oh, maybe people do need more JPEGs. I'm gonna get my camera ready then, I guess.
For what?
To do some photography.
You can't use that camera.
Why not?
It's not gonna work.
It looks like it should work.
No way. It's only got 16 megapixels. You can't use that.
What about yours?
What about mine?
Yours only has 18 megapixels. What are you gonna do with that?
Well, I guess
I
we
mean,
get... Huh?
Are we just supposed to stop shooting pictures or what?
I guess so.
I don't know. I don't think you want me to spend $4,000 on a new camera with 50 megapixels, do you?
Well, no, I guess not.
Can we still shoot photos with these old low megapixel cameras? Low megapixels, supposedly?
Let's find out.
Well, there's my low megapixel camera. I don't know, these pictures are probably going to suck because there's no megapixels. No megapixels. Just 16 of them. Yeah, that's probably not enough resolution for anyone to be able to see anything in that picture, I suppose. So I guess while I'm doing this, I should talk about the megapixels just for a minute. I think that if you're going to print a camera like this with 16 megapixels, you can easily print a 16 by 20 or probably even a 20 by 30, print size along that size without too much trouble. We've done it with 21 megapixel cameras with no problem whatsoever, and 16 megapixels isn't that much less, let alone 18 megapixels in the 1DC that Denise has. The 1DX Mark II that we don't have with us, that we have in the equipment closet, is a 20 megapixel camera. The 1DX Mark III, which is still a $6,000 plus camera at B&H right now, brand new, that's I think a 20.1 megapixel camera. I think it's the same sensor size that the 1DX Mark II had in terms of megapixels. Are these cameras invalid now that you can buy a medium format Fuji camera with 100 megapixels for $5,000 or $6,000? I don't think so. For most people, I think this is more than enough, especially if you're just sharing images on the web. And you can watch Photo Tripper, link down below in the description. He can, share his opinions as well on this subject, and I think pretty much we agree with him. One thing that some of the new cameras have that maybe is worthwhile would be extra dynamic range. Some of the new medium format cameras might have 14 or 15 stops, like the Hasselblad X2D, I believe is the model. But again, we're talking about a $9,000 camera. Do you need to spend $9,000 to get an extra 2 or 3 stops of dynamic range? Maybe, depending on what kind of photography you do. If you're a high-end portrait photographer, potentially that extra megapixel count, extra dynamic range might come in handy. On the other hand, in 2007, the world's greatest portrait camera at that time was the Canon 1DS Mark III. 21 megapixels. I think it had about 11 stops of dynamic range. And some of the greatest fashion portrait photos that have ever been done have been taken with that camera. I think you could still use it today. In fact, we still have one and we would use it today. I think that's a great camera. So do you need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars? Maybe. But you could also spend $400 and get a really nice professional weather sealed body like this that does, I think, pretty interesting work. And you'll have saved yourself a lot of money that you can put into lenses. And I think lenses are really where it's at. If you're going to invest, buy good quality lenses. You put cheap lenses on expensive cameras or cheap lenses on even inexpensive cameras, your images are going to suffer. So I think get a good body. You can get a nice body like this for just a few $100s, or a 1DX, which is the equivalent of Denise's 1DC. The 1DC is the cinema version of the 1DX for $500 or $600. You're going to have a much better camera than many, many, many of the new cameras you can buy today. So that's my opinion on that. It's getting dark, so some of the trail lighting has come on. It's very civilized to have trail lighting in what looks like the woods. Mm-hmm. So we're at the Nelson Family Heritage Crossing. Try to get another photo of that one more time here from a different angle. Got some action shots. They scared the birds. There's Denise going to get some photos of some yellow grasses. We're on what's a very popular trail for pedestrians, cyclists, and joggers, and we ourselves use this trail quite a lot, although we usually ride our bikes through here very early in the morning, which it's not right now, it's late afternoon. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I want to emphasize the lower light aspect of this situation with the lights on. So I'm going to use my exposure compensation to try to prevent too much light in this image. I'm going to focus on that nearest of the lights on the trail. And honestly, I think that one was just a little too dark, so I'm going to bring my exposure compensation back up just a little bit. Focus on that light again. Do the same shot. And that may be close. I'm going to split the difference now. And I think that's going to be just right. So, 16 megapixels.
So right now I'm going to take a picture of the bridge. My shutter is at 1/250th and aperture 2.0, and I have an ISO at 1600. So we'll take a picture and see how it looks. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, that's gonna look really cool. What do you think?
It looks pretty cool. Yep, really nice. Someone's spoiled getting to use such a nifty lens.
I love it.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
So what'd you take a picture of?
I took a picture of the lock keeper's house and the lock there on the canal, on the Fox River Canal, looking upriver toward Green Bay. Just so everyone knows, the bridge has a little spring to it.
Yeah,
So it's pretty hard to hold the camera steady.
Boing, 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 boing. I don't like it.
Nice. I'm going to switch to manual mode now, but let me check something. 400. All right, that should be what I need right there. Very cool. Okay, I think I got some cool shots. So what I was doing there was, I was initially on aperture priority and using exposure compensation with auto ISO, and I had highlight tone priority turned on because highlight tone priority with Canon allows you to get a little more dynamic range in the highlights. But I don't care about that anymore at this time of night, so I turned off the highlight tone priority. That allowed me to go down and mess with my ISO a little better, because highlight tone priority keeps you at 200 or above for ISO. Then I switched to manual mode and adjusted my settings accordingly for the type of exposure I wanted. According to the camera meter, this was an underexposure, but from what I wanted it to look like, I wanted it a little underexposed because I wanted the character of the lights with the pools of light on the pathway, and so an overall, what the camera thinks is an underexposure actually produced exactly what I was looking for. And the moon is just starting to peek out behind the clouds, so that's kind of cool. Well, that's our video for this evening, or afternoon, evening. It started out as afternoon, and now it's definitely evening.
It's evening.
And we think we had a good time out here shooting photos with our, so-called low megapixel cameras. But I think when you see this video and you see the photos, maybe you'll think that's pretty okay photography for such low megapixel equipment. Mm-hmm. And I think dollar per dollar, these older cameras, they're worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely. I love them.
And just for perspective, it wasn't very long ago that 2012 was the year in which the 1DC was released by Canon at the astoundingly, ridiculously high price of $15,000. So we bought this one used with hardly any shutter count on it for $800.
Pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal. And the camera I'm using, the 1D Mark IV, which I accidentally called 1DX Mark IV earlier in this video, or maybe it was a previous video. This was a $6,000 camera in 2009. And so we bought it for $400. And again, it was basically in like new condition. I think the shutter count was like 200 shutter releases. No one ever used it apparently.
Yeah.
So I think value is unbelievable with these older professional body cameras, and I think they make really great photos. What do you think?
I think so too. I think we're very happy with them.
Very happy. So like and subscribe and come back for more. We'll be using them throughout the month of October with these 2 lenses, and we'll try to be creative, and we'll also travel around a little bit and see if we can show you a few sites in Wisconsin during the month. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Watch out for the turdies. Oh,
What am I watching out for?
there's little turdies over there.
Where do you think them are coming from?
Goosies.
Are you always worried about the goose poop around here?
Yeah.
How come you don't like them gooses?
I don't want to step in their poo.
You hear that one? That's probably the one that did it.
Okay.